Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, today we're going to have another look at the Death Star. It's been a while since we've had a look at the Death Star, and we're going to talk about is the tank fun? Is it still fun to play? And now, the Death Star, for probably around 2 years, maybe even longer, has been the worst performing tank in tier 10, and actually probably one of the worst performing tanks in the game. And that is because everybody wants the Death Star. No matter how good of a player you are, you could be 70, 60, 50, 40, even 30% win rate. Every single person out there, or almost every single person out there, wants the Death Star. So it is one of the most tanks that that performs shit, but it's also one of the most played tanks out there in the game, and because people want it for that alpha, and that is the only reason people want the tank. Wargaming buffed it nerfed it some years ago. They nerfed the camouflage, they nerfed the accuracy on the tank. Ever since then, it has kind of changed the tank, because you, even on a tank like mine, used to be able to sit in the corner and just farm and not get spotted. Yeah, I do understand back then it was kind of broken. The spotting, the camouflage was kind of broken, but it was also a fun tank to play. Now, is the tank still fun to play? Yes and no. It is one of those tanks where you sometimes hate the tank and you don't know why you're playing it, but it's also one of them tanks where you get one shot or you get one ammo rack, then you don't even care what happens for the rest of the game. You get one nice HE shot, 1500 damage to a side of a big tank, then you don't even care if you die, because that is satisfying. It is so satisfying to deal that much damage to a tank, especially in tier 10, especially if it's a big tank like an E100 or a Jaegeru, or what I love doing the most is heshing a Death Star. Yes, if you can hesh a Death Star for 1500 damage, for me that's even more satisfying than an ammo rack. Like, you're kind of giving it a taste of its own medicine. And when you even that there, when you can get the AP round to do over 1000 damage as well, it is very, very, very satisfying. So to my answer, yes, it is still fun to play. There are games where you're going to miss every single shot, but when you can get a 1536 and a little ram there to make it up to 1600 damage, it is fun. And this guy here finishes with over 8000 damage. Now, these two tanks, or these two battles, sorry, that I'm showing you, is actually from the same person, almost back to back, I believe. It was very, they were in a platoon, and he does this sort of within the space of, I don't know, half an hour, and he does around about the same damage. So, of course, you can have fun in the Death Star, but it's also one of the most frustrating tanks in the game. You can sit there, you've got clear vision on a tank, like a juicy tank, let's say like a Leopard 1. You've got a juicy Leopard 1, or a juicy Grill, or something like that, something really juicy, or even a big tank like an E100 comes at the side of you, doesn't look at you, and your eyes just open like, oh my god, this is my opportunity. You aim, you aim, you aim, and you miss. And that, for me, is so frustrating. It's happened to everyone. If you sit in there and saying it hasn't happened to you yet, you'll be lying, because it literally has happened to everyone. It's actually cost me, my highest damage game is in a Death Star, and it's 7900 damage. But because of that very thing, that's actually cost me almost 9000 damage, because I missed point blank a Grill, not even moving. He wasn't even moving, and I just completely missed. I fully aimed in, completely missed, and that was literally 1500 damage. So I almost finished on 8k damage. I could have finished on nearly 9.5k damage if that shot would have just gone in. So yeah, it's a very, very frustrating tank. But it is still one of those tanks that can completely change the outcome of the game. You have one HE shot, and that could literally change the whole outcome. It could be a tank that is front line, that's full hit points. You do one shot, it could be a TD. You do one shot on that TD, just like here, there's a Pagetto. One shot and he's lost half his hit points. He's literally lost half his hit points, and now he's a one clip to his platoon mate here in the AMX 30B. Sorry, in the AMX 50B. So yeah, it definitely changes outcomes of the game. There's a Leopard 1 out over there as well. He's literally shooting the Pagettos there. These two guys could actually take out the two green team, but he's just going to aim. He's going to aim a full hit point, 1100 damage, almost 1200 damage, and he's dead. It's gone. Now that now means that that side of the map is taken care of. He doesn't need to worry about that side of the map no more. They have control of that side of the map, and that was due to one shot on each tank. So yeah, it definitely changes the outcome of the game. If used correct, not even if you use correctly, you just need a bit of luck. If a tank comes out sideways, you're in. Like, I mean, it has the Hesh, and any tank that has Hesh will be fun to play. I don't care what anyone says. Any tank that has the Hesh that this tank has got, this tank, the FE4202, no, not the Chieftain, because that has the lower Hesh, the Centurion 7-1, the Charioteer. Any tank that has this kind of Hesh is fun to play. And I don't care what anyone says. You can disagree or you can agree. That is, if you know how to use the Hesh and it works. I'm not saying it works all the time. It doesn't work all the time. But it's still a fun tank to play. But yet it is one of them. So it's one of the most fun tanks to play, but also one of the most frustrating tanks to play. And that's why people want to go for the tank. People want to grind the tank because of that Hesh. And it is one of those tanks where you could do one shot. People used to always say, a couple of years ago now, you don't really hear of it too much now, but a couple of years ago, before they nerfed the tank, people were calling for this tank to be removed from the game. I believe it got removed from PC. I actually have it on PC on my press account. I haven't played it yet. I haven't played anything on my press account, but I really want to go out there and see what the deathstar is like on PC. But yeah, people were calling for Wargaming just to remove the tank from the game because it's broken, and because of the alpha on the gun, it just ruins tier 10. I don't agree with that, because yes, it does sort of up to 1600 damage, but there are most situations where you're going to get one shot off and that is it. If you get rushed, that's all you're going to do. So yes, you might do 1600 damage to a tank, but then that is all you might do. So is that a broken tank that could do 1600 damage in a game and just get absolutely torn apart because it has that massive reload? So I don't find it as fun as it used to, and this is one of my most played tanks. Now, I never play the Deathstar now. I never play the Deathstar. It's very, very rare. The only time I really play the Deathstar is if I'm streaming. But it can be a fun tank, like 1500 damage into the front plate of an ST1, a really heavily armored tank, and he just deals 1500 damage nice and easy. But as I've said, like, there's nothing more satisfying than doing a bit of Hesh to another Deathstar. Now, the enemy team only have a Deathstar left, and we know where they are. He has to be in this corner because his teammate is literally just flanked around. He has to be in this corner. If this was me, I would have probably gone for a blind shot, but because he's on 7.2k damage, he's going to want to get this shot off because it will push him above the 8000 damage. And of course, if he blind shoots, then he will be doing nothing for 20 seconds, and that is usually when a tank becomes spotted, when you've literally just shot. Happens to me all the time. I try a blind shot, I shoot, as soon as I shoot, it comes available, like sort of next to where I shoot. So definitely, do I recommend grinding the Deathstar? I mean, not really, because it's not as easy as people make it look. And I mean, 40% players go and play the Deathstar, they can't aim, they miss their shots, and it just ruins the games, because you need your Deathstar to be effective in the game. You need them to do damage, and sometimes, like I said, they only manage to get one shot off. Unlike this guy who does almost back-to-back 8000 damage games, people see that. People see so high damage games in the Deathstar, they think that they can go and do it. So that's why they go and grind it, and they just want the ammo racks. They want the big damage games. So yes, it is still a fun tank to play, but it is also the most frustrating tank to play. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And is it still fun for you to play? Let me know. I'm meadsy69. I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.